Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Shyam Sundar, Radha Shyam Sundar Radhe. जय कृष्ण बलराम कृष्ण बलराम कृष्ण बलराम जय वृंदावन धाम। जय गौरनिताय 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 जय गौरनिताय। जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद। ताई गौर प्रेमानंदे। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्रीमद् अभय चरणारविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की नित्य लीला प्रविष्ट। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्रीमद् भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी प्रभुपाद की। इस्कॉन फाउंडर आचार्य श्रील प्रभुपाद की। नामाचार्य श्रील हरिदास ठाकुर की। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की। ब्रजभूमि वृंदावन धाम की। पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की। गंगा माई यमुना माई की। भक्ति देवी तुलसी महारानी की। समवेद भक्त वृंद की। ऑल ग्लोरीज टू द assembled devotees। हरे कृष्ण। ऑल ग्लोरीज टू द assembled devotees। All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Guru and Gauranga. ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया। भगवतीरुत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टकी। Today we are discussing Canto 10, Chapter 29, text number 35 to 37 of Srimad Bhagavatam. I read text 35 and 36 to myself, and 37 we read together. सिञ्चाङ्गनस्त्वदरामृतपूरकेण हासावलोककलगीतजुहृज्जयाग्निं नो चेद्वयं विरजाग्नि उपयुक्तदेहा ज्ञानेन यानपदयो पदवीं सखेते। Translation and purport by Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki. Dear Krishna, please pour the nectar of your lips from the fire within our hearts. a fire you ignited with your smiling glances and the sweet song of your flute. If you do not, we will consign our bodies to the fire of separation from you, O friend, and thus, like yogis, attain to the abode of your lotus feet by meditation. Yarhyam bhujakshatav padatalam ramaya dattakshanam kvachidaranya jana priyasya asprokshmatat prabhruti nanya samakshamanja statum svaya bhiramita bata parayama. O lotus-eyed one, the goddess of fortune considers it a festive occasion whenever she touches the soles of your lotus feet. You are very dear to the residents of the forest, and therefore we will also touch those lotus feet. From that time on, we will be unable even to stand in the presence of any other man, for we will have been fully satisfied by you. Text number 37. I will read, you can repeat after me. Sriyat padambuja rajascha me tulasya Sriyat padambuja rajascha me tulasya Labdhva vivakshasi padam kila brutya justam Yasya svavikshena budanya sura prayasas Padambhuja rajascha me tulasya Labdhva bhivakshasi padam kila brutya justam Khyasi padam kila brutya justam Yasya svavikshena bhutanya sura prayasas Svavikshena bhutanya sura prayasas Tadvadvayancha tava pada raja prapanna Dvayam cha tava pada raja prapanna Sriryat padambuja rajascha me tulasya Labdhva bhivakshasi padam kila brutya justam Yasya svavikshena bhutanya sura prayasas Tadvadvayam cha tava padaraja prapanna
Sriryat padam bhujarajas chakame tulasya
Sriryat padam
Lavapi vakshasi padam kila vritya jushtam Yasya svavikshana udhanya sura prayasas Tadvadvayam cha tava padaraja prapana Sriya padambuja rajascha kame tulasya
लब्ध्वा विवक्ष्यसि पदं किल भृत्यजुष्टम् यस्या स्ववीखेन उदान्य सुरप्रयास माताजी दाम्बुजरजश्चकमे तुलस्या लब्ध्वापि वक्ष्यसि पदं किल भृत्यजुष्टम् यस्यास्ववीखेन उदान्य सुरप्रयास तद्वद्वयं च तव पादरजा. Word-to-word meaning, translation and purport by Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada. Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada ki. Shriya, the goddess of fortune, wife of Lord Narayan, Yat as Pada Ambuja of the lotus feet, Raja the dust, Chakame desired, Tulasya together with Tulsi Devi, Labdhva having obtained, Api even, Vakshasi upon his chest, Padam her position, Kila indeed, Britya by servants, Justam served, Yasya whose Lakshmis, Swa upon themselves, Vikshane for the sake of the glance, Uta on the other hand, Anya of the other, Sura demigods, Prayasaha the endeavor, Tadvad in the same way, Vayam we, Cha also, Tava your, Pada of the feet, Raja the dust, Prapanna have approached for shelter. Translation. Goddess Lakshmi, whose glance is sought after the demigods with great endeavor, has achieved the unique position of always remaining on the chest of her Lord Narayan. Still, she desires the dust of his lotus feet, even though she has to share that dust with Tulsi Devi and indeed with the Lord's many other servants. Similarly, we have approached the dust of your lotus feet for shelter. Purport. The gopis here point out that the dust of the Lord's feet is so ecstatic and unliving that the goddess of fortune wants to abandon her unique position on his chest to share with many other devotees a position at his feet. Thus, the gopis urge Lord Krishna not to be guilty of a double standard. Since the Lord gave the goddess of fortune a place on her chest and also allowed her to seek the dust of his lotus feet, Krishna should certainly give the same opportunity to his most loving devotees, the gopis. After all, the gopis plead, seeking the dust of your lotus feet is perfectly justified, and you should encourage us in this endeavor and not try to send us away. Om Ajnanathimirantasya Gnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Prapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Gurun Sri Yutapadakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Rajajatam Sahagana Raguna Tanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakhanvitanscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tata Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Krupa Sindhubhya eva Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langaite girim et krupatamaham vande Sri Gurun Dinatadna Sri Chaitanya Ishwara. I seek the blessings of all of you Vaishnavas who are present here so that I can speak as desired, as the path shown by Srila Prabhupada. So here, gopis are requesting Krishna to accept their request to get the association. Gopis are not ordinary human beings. They are the one who are in a very high position. The position of gopis is explained in chapter 29 in many places in the Purport. One of them is 1029.9, which explains the four categories of gopis, which is from Padma Purana. Gopyastu Srutayogneya Rushiya Gopa Kanyaka Deva Kanyascha Rajendra Namanushya Kadhanchana. These gopis are never to be considered as ordinary human beings. They are either personified Vedic literatures who are sadhana siddha, reborn sages who are again sadhana siddhas, daughter of cowherd and demigod maidens. These two categories, daughter of cowherd and demigod maidens, they are nitya siddha. The first thing while reading 10th canto or while reading this very beautiful Rasa Nitya, Rasa Leela chapters, we have to be very clear and careful that gopis are not ordinary human beings. All our endeavor, doing japa, following the four regulative principles, reading Bhagavatam, studying Bhagavad Gita, understanding, implementing. All this is to come to the position of sadhana siddha. By sadhana, by practice, we try to achieve that. But most of the gopis are nitya siddha. They are already in that position right from the beginning. They no need to do any sort of practices. Sadhana is not required for them because they are already at the highest position. Most of the gopis are in that category. They have achieved such a highest position that they can never come down to any other level. So, basically, the gopis are either sadhana siddha or nitya siddha. The sadhana siddha are the reborn sages who took the darshan of Sri Ramachandra when Sri Ramachandra visited the forest, and all the sages, they want to get the close association of the Lord. So, in order to fulfill their desires, they get the position of the gopis, and they are among these gopis. So, these extraordinary gopis are approaching Krishna. And Krishna, number two, the first position we should understand about the gopis who are at the very highest level, and Krishna. Krishna is the Supreme Lord, Supreme Controller, and Supreme Enjoyer, and Supreme Creator, Supreme Annihilator, everything. So, knowing this, we can have some idea about what actually gopis are trying to argue, trying to put forward their prayers to Krishna, and what goes on. So on the full moon day, full moon night of autumn, Sharad Purnima, Krishna plays the flute beautifully. And each gopi, she is disturbed. Her mind is captured by the beautiful song of the flute. So each gopi secretly, without telling anybody, even her own close friends, they come to Krishna's place. Of course, some of the gopis were not so fortunate as they were stopped by their husbands, but most of them reached. Now, they wanted to have the association of Krishna, intimate association. But Krishna says, why have you come here? Who asked you to come? Go back to your respective homes. Then all gopis were totally disappointed. Why? Krishna, you called us through your flute, through your beautiful song played on the flute. And having come here, you are asking us to go back? They feel so bad, and the tears coming down from the cheeks to all the body parts. Then, after some time, they control themselves and start making appeal to Krishna. So, these 31 to 41 are the texts where the gopis are appealing, praying to Krishna to accept them. So, after their prayers, Krishna feels happy and says, oh, all of you gopis, please come along with me. And he takes all of them to Yamuna river's bank of the Yamuna. And they touch each other. Krishna is touched by all gopis. Krishna also touches the gopis. And Krishna was playing a number of jokes, and this was going on. Now, unfortunately, each gopi gets the idea that I am the most beautiful, or I am the most dearest to Krishna. I am only the most dear. I am only the dearest. The proud enters the gopis. So, when some impurity enters, Krishna's darshan is very difficult to take. Seeing this, that gopis have got little proud, became little proud of the association, Krishna disappears. Krishna disappears, and now all the gopis feel so bad. This ends at chapter 29, and then chapter 30, we see the all gopis are searching for Krishna. Ultimately, they could not find. They sing the glories of Krishna, the pastimes of Krishna very loudly, and that becomes the Gopi Gita, which is chapter 31. The 18 beautiful slokas, they express their feelings about Krishna, and after that, after reciting, after singing Gopi Gita, all gopis loudly, they weep. Oh Krishna, you have left us. Please, please give us darshan. Please come back. Please give your association. Loudly, they were weeping and requesting Krishna to come. Seeing the condition of the gopis, Krishna appears again. And the rasa dance takes place. The point here is, when some impurity enters, taking darshan of Krishna is impossible. And when it had gone out, when they realize their mistakes, and when they are cleared of the impurity, again Krishna appeared, and the rasa dance takes place. This is explained in chapter 33. But the most important thing is that Krishna is not an ordinary person, which Krishna explains. Krishna, each pastime we can understand. When the rasa dance is about to perform, Krishna expands himself to each gopi, and as many gopis, as many Krishnas. So each gopi is dancing with Krishna. This is explained in 10:33:21. Krutva tavantam atmanam yavatir gopayoshitaha reme sa bhagavan stabhi atma ramopi leelaya. Krishna expands as many gopis as they are there. So, this is what Krishna is. And when the rasa dance is performed, Sukadeva Goswami explains, kindly don't mistake Krishna. Evam shashankam viradita nisha. Evam shashankam viradita nisha. Sasatya kamo nurata balagana. Sishevatmanya saurata sarva sharat kavya kadara sashraya. 10:33:25. Although gopis were firmly attached to Krishna, whose desires are always fulfilled by the Lord, but Lord was not internally affected by the mundane sex desire. Still, to perform his pastimes, the Lord took advantage of the full moonlit autumn lights which inspire poetic descriptions of the transcendental affairs. So, this point which we can see after maybe 1 or 2 months when we come to chapter 33-25, Krishna was never internally affected by the mundane sex desire. That is the highest position of Krishna. So, the Ras dance continues and Krishna tells gopis, go back. Now go back to your respective homes. How much time the Rasa dancer took place? Rasa dancer took place for 1 night of Brahma's time. 1 night of Brahma. 1 night of Brahma? 1 night of Brahma means it is how much? 311 trillion 40 billion years. In 8:17 of Bhagavad Gita, it is explained, Sahasra Yuga Paryantam Aharyat Brahmano Viduhu Ratrim Yuga Sahasranta Tiho Ratra Vido Jana. Brahma's day is the same as the night, which consists of 311 trillion and 40 billion years. That is 1,000 cycles of the 4 ages. The 1,000 cycles, one cycle consists of Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, Kali Yuga. And if we want to calculate the number of years, Kali Yuga, 4,32,000 years, and Dwapara Yuga, double the Kali Yuga, 2 times 4,32,000, 8,64 years. Then 3 times the Kali Yuga is the Satya Yuga, the Dwapara Yuga. 2 times is Dwapara Yuga, 3 times is Treta, 4 times is Satya Yuga. Kali Yuga is 4,32,000. So when we calculate 1,000 times of these combined time, it comes to 311 trillion 40 billion years. This much time is the Rasa Leela which is performed. Now, how to understand this much, huge number of years within a short period of about 10 or 12 hours. And at the end of the Brahma's daytime, what actually happens is also explained in Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita 8:19 says, Bhuta grama saye vayam bhutva bhutva praliyate ratyagame vasha partha prabhavatyaharagame. Again and again, when Brahma's day arrives, all the living entities come into being. With the arrival of night, they are helplessly annihilated. Which are these jivas? These are the living entities. These are the living entities who are in this Vishwa, in this our material world. So in the material world, at the end of the Brahma's daytime, all the jivas, whoever is staying in these 14 planets, Satyaloka, Tapoloka, Janaloka, Maharloka, Swargaloka, Bhuvarloka, and Bhuloka, Atala, Vitala, Sutala, Patala, Mahatala, all these lokas, whichever living entity is there, all of them reach Vishnu's place, Vishnu's inside. They are compactly kept for this whole night of Brahma, the same time as that of the daytime of Brahma. So this is going on. If we see gopis definitely they don't belong to this category of coming back and staying in Brahma, in Vishnu's body for the whole time. Now, if we see the position of the husbands of gopis who have come for the rasa dance, so what is their reaction? In 10:33-37, it is explained, Nasuyan khalu krishnaya mohitastasya mayaya manyamana swaparshasthan swan daran vrajokasaha. Cowherd men, bewildered by Krishna's illusionary energy, that their wives had remained at home at their sides. They all thought that they are here only, they are with us, they are beside us, beside me only, my wife is beside me. The Rasa Leela is seen by all the demigods, and they shower the flowers during the Rasa dance. But these husbands are bewildered that my wife is with me. So Vishwanath Chakravarti explains as a commentary to Ujjvala Neelamani, which is written by Rupa Goswami, Maya kalpita tadruk Sri Shilane nanusuyibihi najatu vraja devi nam prapatibhi sahasangama. Husbands concerted with duplicate gopis manufactured by Maya. Vishwanath Chakravarti is explaining. These men never actually had any intimate contact with the divine ladies of Raja. And these gopis are internal energy of the Lord, and they never belong to any other living beings. So, the gopis are extraordinary. We can never compare them with any other living beings here or ordinary human beings. If we don't hear the Rasa Leela and even any part of Bhagavatam through the Guru Parampara, we will be misled. We get half knowledge or wrong or totally opposite of what is actually implied or given in Srimad Bhagavatam. If we hear from other people who make it as an entertainment thing to attract the crowds, it is like listening to those 6 blinded persons explaining about the elephant. Each one, because of their lack of knowledge, one person says these elephants' legs, actually he says these are all the pillars, it's only pillar. And the other person who is holding the tail says it is like a rope, it is rope. And the other person in the trunk says, holding the trunk, oh, this is snake. And the person who is touching the big ears of the elephant, he says, these are the big fans which move with the hand fans. And the person who is having vision, he says, oh, this is elephant. You cannot say that this is wall or snake or a rope, etc. In the same way, if we by chance hear from others, which we have to avoid, by chance if we hear, we should only think that they are not explaining the actual meaning given in the beautiful Rasa Leela. Other than Srila Prabhupada's Srimad Bhagavatam, that's why we should not hear from others. It will only confuse and make us to think in different ways, which is actually misleading. So, by listening to these pastimes of Krishna, what actually happens is explained in 10:33-39, the last sloka of the Rasa Leela. Vikriditam vrajadhubiradam cha Vishnu Sradranvito nusrunuya dadavarnayedya Bhaktim param bhagavati pratilabhya kamam Hrudrogamashvapahinotya chirena dhira. We all have the disease of the mind, disease in the heart. That is the disease of lust desires. To get rid of them, to drive them, Sukadeva Goswami explains that these are the Leelas. Listen to them again and again, and this makes you to drive away the lusty desires. Translation of this sloka. Anyone who faithfully hears or describes the Lord's playful affairs with the young gopis of Vrindavan will attain the Lord's pure devotional service. Thus, he will quickly become sober and conquer lust, the disease of the heart. The biggest disease of the heart which we all are suffering is the lust. The first thing which we want to get rid of is the lust. So Sukadeva Goswami explains, anyone who faithfully hears, faithfully, or describes or explains the Lord's playful affairs with the young gopis of Vrindavan will attain the Lord's pure devotional service. Thus, he will quickly become sober and conquer lust, the disease of the heart. So, again and again, when we listen, when we explain, the only purpose we should have is to understand Krishna's highest position along with Gopi's greatness. If we don't understand, we will be misled. If we understand the position and listen to all these pastimes, the lust which is there in our hearts, which is residing in our hearts for the many births, thus lust will disappear. It will be driven away by the effect of listening attentively, faithfully, these pastimes. That's why each one of us should not miss even a single class of the Bhagavatam and attentively listen. Then we definitely get the pure devotional loving service of Krishna with our lust desires totally gone out from our mind. The position of gopis, Prabhupada explained many times the story of Krishna's headache. When Narad Muni visited Krishna, Krishna was acting, I am having headache. And Narad Muni says, oh Krishna, you are the Supreme Person, how is that you are getting this headache? What should I do to get rid of this headache? Krishna tells, go and get the dust of the feet of any devotee. So Narad Muni says, I will just go and get. she goes to Rukmini and explains, Krishna, the Supreme Lord is having headache, and his headache will go, the headache will disappear if I take the dust from the feet of a devotee. Kindly give your dust, Rukmini ma. Rukmini, please give your dust. Oh my God, you want to take the dust of my feet and on Krishna's head? What is that you are talking? I will go to the hell for many millions of years. You want me to suffer that hell? No, please. Then he goes to other Ranis, other queens of Krishna, and everyone is saying that. Everyone is refusing to give. Then he tries everywhere and fails. Then he goes back to Krishna. Krishna, I am very sorry, oh Supreme Lord. I am unable to get the dust of any devotee. Then Krishna says, go to Vrindavan, seek the dust of the gopis and see the reaction. So Narad Muni immediately goes to Vrindavan and says, oh, this is such a village. And he finds all gopis, please come for helping Krishna. Oh Krishna, you require help from us, from me, from us. Oh, I am here to help you. You see, Krishna is having headache, and the headache will disappear only after applying the dust of the feet from the devotees. So can you kindly give? At least one of you give. He was afraid. All of them is, at least one of you kindly give the dust from your feet. Wait. All of them run. These fellows have also gone. Krishna is saying, go to gopis. All gopis run to Yamuna and nicely wet their feet and jump in the dust, and they come. Narad Muni, now lot of dust I have on my feet. Kindly collect. Each one they say, collect my dust. Gopis, do you know? We are going to apply this on the head of the Supreme Lord, the Supreme Controller, the Supreme. Oh, yeah, we know. You don't know. If your feet is touching Krishna's head, you will be sent to the hell for many years. You have to suffer in hell. No problem. If Krishna is relieved of the pain, if Krishna feels happy, we don't mind undergoing any sort of difficulty, any sort of torture, any sort of misery. No problem for us. Okay, go fast immediately. Why are you waiting? Narad Muni comes back and tells, oh Krishna, now I could understand why you had the headache. So, the gopis' position and Krishna's highest position, when we understand, we can appreciate really the episodes of pastimes of Krishna and the Rasa Leela. Hare Krishna. If you have any questions, if you think I can answer them, please.
Thank you. You mentioned that Krishna arranged in his Leela that the gopis would get proud, and there's a contaminant. Of course, contamination can't just appear to devotees, but for Leela there's a contaminant. And that kind of it forced the gopis to think more seriously and more hysterical about Krishna, that now Krishna's gone away. So when this contaminant of lust and anger, greed had become, is it just that you have to get more intense in hearing and chanting only? Is there some sort of switch we can turn so that the contaminant will go out of our system? Or is it only simply by intense hearing and chanting, like the gopis were intensify their hearing and chanting, Krishna again manifests themselves? So contaminant will go away like that, just by hearing and chanting.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. You know the answer. I think you have answered many difficult questions. You are. Thank you very much for asking this question. Now, when Krishna observed that gopis became proud, Krishna disappeared before Ras dance. That's what. So, whenever there is contamination, they did the gopis, now they lamented. They could understand their mistake and they prayed Krishna attentively. So, in our heart, we observed many loopholes very honestly. Many bad things we observe. If we go into our own heart and try to examine where I am, what I am. So the only way to get rid of all this is to have the same approach of the gopis, praying to Krishna, and that is by the process of chanting and hearing attentively and noticing our own defects and not committing any offenses. Many times we think, I have been practicing this for the past 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, and so I am senior, and these fellows who have just entered the temple or just 1 year only. No. If we start looking at them in that way, again the proud element had come, entered, and Krishna doesn't like that. This, if we clearly understand that any impurity in our heart, we will not get the darshan of Krishna. So we have to be extremely careful, not offending, not doing any offenses towards Vaishnavas or the Dham. That way, I think we can come out. Thank you. Any other questions? So, if
Hold on.
yeah, exactly. He knows that he has to stay in the hell for years and years and years together. I am afraid of going to the hell. Why should I go to the hell? And I give my dust, and Krishna's headache is relieved, and I will suffer.
But it helps like some medicine.
Yeah, all medicines were tried. That is the pastime. That is the Leela. Dust has got the medicine. Dust of the devotee has got that effect. If you take the dust of the pure devotee, it will have the effect. So try to collect the dust of the devotee as much as possible. Am I clear? Are you satisfied? Yeah.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Why are the demigods lucky enough to see the Rasa dance?
Yeah. Why they are lucky?
Why are they lucky enough? I just want to know it.
Because they are also devotees and because they are demigods, because they are lucky. Thank you. Any other question? So, if you don't have any other questions, then I stop here. Thank you very much. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki, Srimad Bhagavatam Mahapuranam ki, Jai 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 Sri Radhe.